Hey man, what it is? This is Beam, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go the Cash App, $ Dean by any means. Hit that Cash App, y'all. There go the PayPal at Dean by any means. Hit that PayPal. Y'all already know what I'm about to say, or a super chat. Y'all know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciate it, y'all. Don't be an eavesdropper, my guys. Please hit that like button. Don't be an eavesdropper. Y'all, I've been doing a lot of thinking about Jaron Ennis and Bud Crawford, especially after that Virgil Ortiz fight. I do not understand why Crawford. Well, I do understand why Crawford would want Virgil over Jaron Ennis, but let's talk. Let's go to another thing, man. Terence Crawford is not fighting Jaron Ennis under any circumstances, whether he go to 154 or not. I do think that 154 is has more smoke for Jaron, but my thing is they're not going nowhere. He would only be rushing to go to 154 for Terence Crawford. Everybody else is not going nowhere. Sebastian Fundora is young. Tim Zoo, um, the guy Terence Crawford was fighting. There's all these foreign last names. I'm sorry, y'all. These foreign last names. All right. Jermaine, all these other guys ain't going nowhere, man. He would only be moving up to Bud. But there's no guarantee that Bud Crawford is going to fight him. He has already turned the man down twice. When Terence Crawford was fighting Earl Spence, they both knew that they would have to fight Jaron Ennis. They both knew that. They both decided to move up. Terence Crawford just officially dropped this belt, as I asked him to do, because you're holding up the weight divisions. If Terence Crawford would have been dropped these belts, who knows, y'all? Jaron Ennis could have been going for undisputed by the end of this year. And then all of this, him going to 154 and all of that stuff, wouldn't even be, it'd be null and void, because you'll know he was going to 154. See, Terence Crawford, I don't think would take the Jaron Ennis fight no matter what. Dean, why you say that? Because he's 37 years old. So when it's going to happen? It's not going to happen next year, because Boots will be the last person that he would try to unify with. Y'all agree with that part though, right? Boots, and let's say if Boots do get the winner of Murtazaliev and Tim Zoo or whatever, right? And goes challenge them, beat them for the IBF belt, right? Terence Crawford is not going to try to unify with him first. No, he's going to go for the winner of Sebastian Fundora and Earl Spence. I can guarantee you that. I know that for a fact. That's what he's going to do. The WBO will still be in the air. Terence Crawford probably get it. He's not going to unify with Boots. He will sit up there. Think about it, y'all. He's not asking for a unification fight now. He's trying to fight Virgil Ortiz. That is not a unification fight. So let's say realistically, we could, even if Jaron Ennis moved up to 154, he wouldn't get this fight at least for 2 years. Jermell Charlo got to come back. Everybody keep forgetting Jermell Charlo's factor in all this. If he comes back, he's going to be the champion or get a fight for the championship belt. Terence Crawford's not going to pick Jaron Ennis over any of those guys. Why? Because he's going to say what he's been saying. Biggest risk, low reward. See, this is the problem, y'all. Y'all hard-headed. When as Terence Crawford told you he wasn't going to do something and actually did it. Terence Crawford is a very stubborn person. He said he's not fighting Boots. I believe him. So, yeah, I would like Boots to go get 147. The problem is 147, everybody's ducking him now. See, we are making excuses for people ducking Jaron, not vice versa. He got to do this. He got to do that. He got to do that in the third. He got to jump through a hoop. He got to let the elephant spin the ball on his nose. He got to do all of these things for a guy that didn't even crack 100,000 pay-per-view buys. Why the hell would Jaron Ennis do that? See, what I'm mad at all my boxing fans about right now, what Deem is upset about, is that y'all acting dumb. Terence Crawford has only been asked about one fighter that's a realistic fight, and that is Jaron Ennis. The main that y'all keep saying Jaron Ennis is not a big reward. Well, why is he the only one that the public is asking for? Nobody's asking for Terence Crawford versus Mertens Aliyev. Nobody asked for Terence Crawford versus Madrimov. Nobody is asking for Terence Crawford versus Sebastian Fundora. Guess what, y'all? Nobody cares about Terence Crawford versus Jermell. The only fight he is constantly asked about is Jaron Ennis. That means Jaron Ennis has already done enough to fight Terence Crawford. It's like me being a Tank fan saying that Shakur Stevenson hasn't done enough to fight Gervonta Davis. When the only fighter besides Lomachenko that people ask Shakur Stevenson about is Gervonta Davis. That means he's done enough. Jaron Ennis is literally his biggest fight on the board. But Bud fans and everybody want to act stupid like they don't know this. And then they keep putting this thing on Jaron. Well, he got to go up to 147 to fight him. He already said he would do that. But he would only go do that right now for Bud. What other reason? So he got to go up to 154, chase a belt, and hope that Terence Crawford fight him. Canelo Alvarez didn't fight David Benavidez. Canelo Alvarez didn't fight David Benavidez or David Morrell, and they both held titles. What do that mean? They had to move up to a different division to actually get fights because Canelo refused to fight him. Terence Crawford I believe Terence Crawford is taking the Canelo approach to Jaron Ennis because everything that Canelo has said about David Benavidez, Terence Crawford has said about Jaron Ennis. I don't know why y'all think y'all could change Terence Crawford's mind about fighting somebody, but by the time he actually will fight him, he'll be 39 years old. Y'all really think that Terence Crawford is going to fight a 28-year-old, 29-year-old Jaron Ennis with 2 or 3 more years of more experience and then fighting? I got beachfront property in Idaho I can sell you. Y'all gotta face it. Terence Crawford will never fight Jaron Ennis. It's too much risk. Absolutely too much risk. The same reasons why Floyd Mayweather never fought Sean Porter and Keith Thurman and those guys when he had opportunity to. I think he would do it. I think Terence Crawford would drop belts because he's already done it to not fight Jaron Ennis. Terence Crawford actually, to me, he looked better at 147. He looked more faster, more agile. He probably need to be at 147. 154 was too high of a weight class for him to me. I think he could wholeheartedly make 147 with no problems at all. The problem is Jaron Ennis. Bud Crawford is not going to fight Jaron Ennis under any circumstances, and I don't care how y'all feel about it. This is the truth. This is what I know. Because if he really wanted to fight him, he will fight him now because Terence Crawford would have the best chance to beat him now. Oh, yeah, y'all, and it's the only person people ask. How can Terence Crawford have a bigger fight about a fight that people don't care about? So Terence Crawford versus Mertens Aliyev is a bigger fight that we don't care about? He barely cracked 100,000 pay-per-view buys with Madrimov. So y'all want me to be convinced that Jaron Ennis is not his biggest fight when I live on the East Coast, actually witness Jaron Ennis in person, the support he gets and all of that. There's only one fighter that people are asking for Terence Crawford to fight, and his name is Jaron Boots Ennis. Stop telling me that they need to build it up or that Jaron hasn't done enough or it don't bring nothing to Bud Crawford. It does bring something to Bud Crawford. Exactly what he asked for, the biggest payday possible. That is literally his biggest payday possible besides Canelo Alvarez, and only fool-ass earthmen are going to try to act like that's not true. Your biggest fight is the people that people are interested in you fighting. The people they ask you about. Y'all can't even deny that point. That's the sad part. Y'all can't even deny that point. Name me another fighter another fighter or two in a weight class is the person that is asked about the most for them to fight, and that's not their biggest fight. Can y'all name me anybody else in any other weight class? Bivol Beterbiev. Who is Beterbiev constantly getting asked about? Bivol. Who is Canelo Alvarez constantly getting asked about? David Benavidez. Who is because the 160 division been off. Tim Tszyu. Who is people talking about Tim Tszyu fighting Sebastian Fundora? Terence Crawford, Earl Spence Jr. Terence Crawford, Jaron Ennis. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Y'all remember those days? I do, because I actually love boxing. Terence Crawford is not going to fight Jaron Ennis under any circumstances, whether he move up or not. I am totally convinced of that. I believe that wholeheartedly, just off the things, because Terence Crawford never said if Jaron, y'all are saying that. Terence Crawford never said if he moves up to 154, he would fight him. He ain't never said that. I want to know who has talked to Terence Crawford and has got a different response to Crawford that we haven't heard. David Benavidez did everything he could to get the Canelo fight, and it still ain't happening. Canelo was still going about his career. He gladly dropped the belts. So y'all think, y'all just believe in Terence Crawford words. You know the one thing, if he won't take, first of all, y'all, how can y'all believe he want to get undisputed so much when he's not even trying to get his biggest payday? His biggest payday right now is Jaron Ennis, and he's not even trying to get that. So how are y'all so convinced? If Jaron Ennis was up there, he would just take the fight. I doubt it, especially 2 years from now. Because that means that Terence Crawford would fight Virgil this year. Terence Crawford barely fights. First of all, Terence Crawford only fights once a year, so him fighting twice this year would be oxymoron. Would be out of the norm. Let's say next year he fights once or twice. He do his mandatory and gets another unification bout. Then that would mean the last unification bout, which would be Jaron Ennis, would be at 39 years old. I doubt it. Y'all believe that BS? I don't. Dean, that's what I'm here for giving you the real. And I've been talking about this subject. Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Dean, by any means. And I holla at y'all.